With just 3 days until the first performance of the Rat Pack show at Tyler Amphitheatre, it's time for Paul, Martin and Andrea to start work on the script.
Hey, Paulie!
Despite playing the chairman of the board, former double glazing salesman and ex-copper Martin Rhodes is the least experienced member of the cast.
I didn't turn professional until 3 years ago. I went in a local talent competition. I did so well, and there's 300 ladies jumping up and down and screaming, and I thought, I like this, you know?
Frank, Sammy and Dean were nearly as famous for their gags as their singing, so the boys have got a lot to live up to.
You know, the Rat Pack there was never a script really. Most of the stuff I've watched of theirs, there was like falling over, drinking, and that's what we love to do.
With his background in TV and theatre, Paul Shah is responsible for directing the script. Despite rehearsals taking place in his own front room, Andrea is nowhere to be found.
Well, all right, look. Until they turn up, let's look over your bits, because your bits really don't change that much.
You want to look over my bits?
I want to look over your bits.
Most of our life is taken up with Frank Sinatra. I mean, there's CDs, there's books, there's magazine sleeves all over our house. It's all to do with Frank, the Rat Pack.
My dad was Frank Rhodes. My grandfather was Frank Rhodes.
Nat King Cole impression, followed by Louis Armstrong, and then Frank.
You want to hear me do Frank? All right, here it goes.
Spencer.
Fly me to the moon. What?
You've taken that out.
Oh, yeah.
Is it nine?
Oh, it's just you got a staple over it.
They may have different backgrounds, but all the performers in the show have one thing in common: a deep connection with their heroes.
Frank was born 12th of December, 1915. I'm 51, the other way around, and I'm 9th of December, right, within 3 days. Angie's 14th of December, yeah.
Sammy was a minority, I was a minority, you know. He had like a lot of different cultures mixed up, like me. Maybe after that, because I've obviously taken the piss out of you, you can give it some, you know, I'm gonna whack you.
Sammy, I'm always whacking you. My hands are getting bruised.
Whacking you up.
I'm gonna end up as black as you are.
I'm Hindu, Indian, from North India, and my ancestors were sort of brought over on the boat to South America, Guyana. So I'm British, Guyanese, Indian, born in Wales.
This man is the most multinational man I've ever met. Tell us why.
Well, I'm half Greek, half Italian, and I was born in Scotland. So I suppose that makes me a Greek, Cypro, Scot, who likes pasta.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So where does the Cypriot bit come in? Is that like your spiritual home, I suppose?
Yes, that's right.
While Paul is concerned that some of the gags may need updating, Andrea is reluctant to change too much of the existing material.
Yeah, well, I mean, the black pudding sausage, that was a great gag. And people were pissing themselves.
How do you feel about it?
Well, you see, there's a fine balance between do we stick with the original stuff that they did in the 60s.
When Sammy Davis Jr. was born, the doctor couldn't tell whether he was a boy or a girl or a black pudding sausage.
Hey, hold it.
So, do you want me to do that? What do we do?
Would it be like Frank walking on with a Ku Klux and a hat on, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah, that's going too far.
Then they probably would have got away with it and it would have been a laugh.
Yeah, that's
now,
right.
Yeah.
Political correctness has to.
Yeah.
And it was all meant, and in actual fact, what they were doing is they were creating awareness of what was going on with the racial tension at that particular time. So it wasn't necessarily a put down or a racist thing that they were doing, because in actual fact, as you well know, Frank Sinatra was a strong advocate against racism.
Totally.
You know, because he loved Sammy Davis more than anyone. And so they were kind of like, he was bringing that to the forefront to actually fight against racism more than anything else.
But it's just the black pudding sausage. What I can't get in my head is, was black pudding sausage even invented in those days?
Paul's security guard, Psycho John, has been offered a small part in the show. But with only a few hours set aside to practice the script, nobody has told him to turn up for rehearsal.
Psycho John, you wanted to do this bit with him, didn't you?
Yeah. Where is he?
He left.
Why?
I don't know.
You're in charge of the script. You saw he was here, right? Why did you let him go?
Responsibility for producing the show has been split between Andrea, Paul, and musical director Andrew Oliver. And with 3 days to go, there is still a little confusion over their roles.
You're the producer.
This is right here. what
You're
I'm
the
dealing
producer,
with right
mate.
here.
You're
This
the producer.
is Andrew Oliver asked me to deal with the script.
Hold on. Hold on a minute. We're gonna see things now in black and white.
Rat Pack Tour September schedule.
Paul Shaw, producer, scriptwriter, and plays Sammy.
Says it there in black and white, pal. You is the producer.
Hey, John. You alright, Paddy? I'm gonna pass you over to the producer.
Hey mate, we're gonna Andrea wanted you to do this rehearsal for this piece of the security piece in the show. Do you remember we were talking about it yesterday? Alright then. Okay. Cool. Alright, cheers. Bye. He's not in the show anymore. Why? Because he's got gardening to do.
Paul doesn't even realise he's the producer. But it says it very clearly in the emails that he is the producer. I was promised that. I was promised responsibility will be taken off my hands for a lot of things. Unfortunately, that's not been the case. I've got to help Karen.
Andrea and Karen perform up to 6 nights a week in local bars and restaurants and are keeping up their regular engagements on top of preparations for the Rat Pack show. Meanwhile, Paul heads off to Paphos to discuss his concerns about today's rehearsal with musical director Andrew Oliver. As the venue is likely to be busy, Paul has taken along his private security guard, Psycho John.
We went to go and see the Elvis and Elton show on Tuesday, and basically I went down to help out with Paul.
Chris King and Andrew Oliver perform their regular double act in Pentarus Bar and Restaurant, dubbed by the locals the King and Queen of Rock.
I came here to see Andrew Oliver. He does a show with Elvis, and Barbara Streisand's involved as well. One of my main reasons for coming down was basically just to chat to Andrew. I wanted to go through some bits and pieces. He's not on tonight. He's ill, which is a worry. I don't know if he's going to make rehearsals tomorrow. And I came down to see him. He's not here.
Due to his role on Faraway Close, Paul's presence at the show has caused quite a stir.
Just to let you know, there's actually a TV crew here, and we're going to tell you all about that as we go through the show, you know, because we've got a little celebrity here with us too, so we're going to tell you about that.
The impersonator, Chris, had seen me like a few years ago when I did the show. And now, being in the television show and everyone over here sort of knowing about it, I think he got a bit excited and wanted to mention that I was around and stuff like that. It was a bit much, really.
I don't know how you would cope if you were wildly famous.
The showbiz lifestyle, I mean, I've only been in it 3 years, but...
Well, you do get a little bit of adulation when you do shows at the old people's homes.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done one and he's got another couple to go back to, and they absolutely adore him. He takes them down memory lane.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Right at the end, because they found out he was part of a main TV programme, everybody was flocking around him. They wouldn't leave him alone. Every time we thought we'd got a bit of quiet, somebody else was over. Somebody else was over. Why can't he just lead a normal life?
It's probably the show that's going to establish me the most, you know, because it's very high profile. So that's a good thing.
You just got to live with it, haven't you? It's one of those things.
It is about me. At the same time, you have to try and make it not about you. It's a bit of a contradiction. I am the commodity, aren't I? You know, if I was selling windows, I would big the windows up.
Oh, well. Home, James.
With the band arriving for their first rehearsal tomorrow, our expat Rat Pack need to swing into gear or they won't be ready for the show. next episode, Paul has a quiet word with Andrea. The band arrive.
Yeah, but it's your job to make sure there's no feedback. You're not the sound engineer.
And Dean Martin gets deep.
Is spirituality and self-development a selfish thing,